What a great song, huh? Try to love one another right now. Hey, I love that. Anyways, welcome back to Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, and that's exactly what we want people to do, is get together, love one another, have a great holiday, not have so many expectations and be let down and crises that we get every year. You know, somebody was talking to me on the way here. I was talking to somebody saying, wow, in your business, things explode during the holidays. No, things slow down during the holidays. Things explode in January because of all the people that were let down and all the crises that happen during the holidays and all the partying and craziness that happens. That's when it explodes, not now.
Well, now we're going to be talking today for the rest of the show about surviving the holidays with a troubled teen, which brings some of its own unique situations and holiday expectations that create family stress. And Cary, I'm going to read the following from an article that you wrote a while back. See if you remember this.
I already remember that article just by you talking about it. But go on.
The holiday season is a time when family love, harmony, and togetherness are fostered by songs, advertisements, and the media. While this may be true for some families, the holidays can also be a period of increased family stress and a time of false expectations. But it's a trap many of us fall into. What I expect and what I want. And worse yet, trying to live up to the expectations others have for us as well.
I'd say that again, because that's a big one. Because we're always trying to do better and better for people we care about, even if it's past our means.
Trying to live up to the expectations others have of us as well. And our culture bombards us from all directions with idealized images of the holidays. Additionally, we often carry our childhood holiday expectations forward and pass them on to our children. Children's expectations start to rise with the arrival of the first holiday catalogs in September, and the magnitude of those expectations become apparent with the first wish list. When our expectations do not live up to the ideal, we may feel disappointed.
And it's crazier today than ever before because things are more money today. I mean, they want new iPhones and new computers and new this and new that. And in the old days, it was smaller stuff. But now, I mean, everybody needs the newest, best of everything. Isn't that true?
It is true. And
I'm guilty too.
Yeah, and my
phone comes out, I want it.
I know, but my wife and I was just saying the other day that how it bothers her that she sees all these people camped out for days in front of a store just because they're going to open up and the latest phone is going to be available. Or they absolutely have to have it.
The latest games that they have over at Best Buy, right? And Nintendo comes out and everybody's camping out for days. It's like, wait a minute, what? Really?
So here we have these expectations that we not only have from Christmases gone by, but then there are people out there that will say, I am going to have a perfect Christmas this year. We are going to bake the cookies. We're going to do all that. And then you get asked by other people to help them with their situation. I mean, at church and all kinds of places where things are going on. And people forget that they can just say no.
Well, but you can say it, but it's hard because if you got kids and you want everyone to be happy, you want them to be joyful, even though you know maybe I shouldn't ought to do that. So you have that internal struggle. If you don't do it, people are going to get mad at you. If you do it, you're going to feel bad for what you did. So you get yourself in one of those lose-lose situations, you know, when really it's one of those kind of things. Do what you can do.
Yeah.
Do what you're comfortable doing. You got to put yourself as a priority before anything. You got to look at your finances. You got to make sure you're not extending yourself. You know, you got to really take care of yourself too. You can't worry about everybody else. The other thing that really hurts people is expectations.
Oh boy.
What does that exactly mean? Let's break it down. What does an expectation really mean, Mike?
Something that you think is going to happen.
What if it don't?
You're ready for it.
What if it don't?
It can be a letdown.
So if you're
depending on how you hung your hat on it, I mean, if you're really expecting.
Yeah, well, if you're thinking your husband's going to get you this brand new BMW and he comes home with a Pinto, you're going to be let down. People that might know what a Pinto is, it's been a long time, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
So instead of a BMW, you get a Chevy.
You didn't mean it. You didn't mean a small horse.
Right.
You get a car.
Or you want a new iPhone and you get a Samsung. or vice versa. It's kind of one of those kind of things. If you put expectations on other people, you will probably be let down. If you put expectations on yourself and you can't do what you want, you'll be sad.
People are just possessed by having certain things. Did you see the footage from Black Friday where they had destroyed that store? And here's all these shoe boxes strewn all over the floor. And first of all, I thought, how could anybody do that to a store? And stop and think about it. They just wanted what they wanted so bad. They were really, I saw this one lady trying to rip something out of another lady's hands.
Fist fights.
Do they have a camp where you can go and train to be vicious and combative in a store for Black Friday? It's unbelievable.
What is that song? Come on, people now.
Yeah, really.
Smile on your brother.
Let's play our theme song for
Everybody get together. That's why we play
one another, right?
Yeah, it's kind of.
I can't think of anything I want out there that I would be willing to fight over, except my wife, and my family. But a pair of shoes, get out of here. I'm not about to go there.
No,
how about you, Cary?
No.
Now you're into cell phones, but you wouldn't fight over a new latest cell phone, would you?
Yeah, I would.
I could see the look on your face.
No, there's no way. I mean, things just aren't. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like live and let live, man.
Wow.
If somebody's that wild, stay away from them. In fact, back off of them. Why would you want to get yourself to that point?
Yeah.
It's just insane. But and also let's talk about dinners and stuff. Before we talk about the kids, I was talking to somebody that was going to cook a dinner, but they didn't really have the money. I said, why don't you do a potluck?
Yeah.
Buy the turkey or whatever it is you want to cook and have everybody coming over bring a side. And they went, oh. They said, and actually that's even more Christmassy spirit because everybody's participating.
Yeah, and you get to taste other people's cooking. It's really cool.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Mostly. Well, if it isn't, you have to kind of, if they're sitting across from you, you have to pretend that it is.
But I'm just saying, I mean, do what you can do only.
Yeah.
And if it's family coming over, have them participate.
And even out there shopping, I have to tell you, Cary, there are certain stores that I just won't go into during Christmas shopping time because people just get so crazy. And I have to tell you, I haven't been in it in a long time, but there's a huge toy store out there that everybody knows.
Of course.
And every once in a while I like to go in there because I'm amazed at what they've done with toys. And of course I want them. I'd love to have some of them and play with them. I have to admit to that.
I love the Nerf guns.
Oh yeah. It's amazing stuff. But around Christmas time, you'd have to wear your football helmet and your shin guards and the whole thing.
Michael, you know what I did Friday? I don't go to Black Friday, but in the middle of the day, they wanted to go to the Topanga Mall, so I went there, dropped people off. They got out of the car, and I decided to go park. You know how long it took me to move to park to get a spot? I was stuck. How long?
I can only imagine.
Over an hour and probably an hour and a half.
So you were really in the shopping mood when you got your car parked,
get
right?
out of the parking lot, let alone find a parking space there.
So under normal circumstances, a person would be tense after that. Then you go in to go shopping, and it's like, yeah, right,
I made calls, and, I was stopped dead for about 25 minutes. I played poker. But yeah, I mean, there were people honking and ready to fight over spots. I was very entertained. How's that? Instead of stressing, I got myself entertained.
There you go. What can you do? I mean, you're pretty well stuck, right?
No, there was nothing to do. I was stuck.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about surviving the holidays with a troubled teen. Here are 6 ideas to make the holiday season brighter. The holiday season is often portrayed as a time for happy families to come together, but if your family includes a troubled teen, the holiday season may be anything but happy.
Or a troubled anyone. If you're living with a husband, wife, grandparent, aunt, uncle, and there's some mental health issues, mental health meaning anything, from substance abuse to depression. Yeah, I know that when somebody's depressed, your kid especially, and you walk home and it's like a black cloud's over your head. You don't know what you're going to find, in what mood they're going to be in. They're going to be happy, sad, crazy, and these poor parents. I get calls all the time from them. They call me in the middle of the night, and they don't know where their kid is. They're out of control. I mean, it's pretty sad. So anyways, go on.
Well, this ties into what we were talking about a moment ago. The idea number 1, set realistic expectations. If you have a teen who is depressed, don't expect that they will suddenly feel happy during the holidays.
Right.
If your teen is defiant and poorly behaved, don't expect them to act differently when the relatives come to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you could be severely. It's kind of like thinking that your Uncle Charlie, who always acts like a dope when he comes to your house, isn't going to act like a dope.
Well, we especially during the holidays, we watch TV, and we see TV love, TV families, that everybody's happy, joyous, and free. And in reality, that's not what happens in most homes. There are issues. It's real life, not TV life. You know, I mean, TV is made to make you feel good, or if you watch the news, to make you feel sad, depending on how you look at it. But if you watch the Partridge Family and the Brady Bunch and those kind of things, it's movie love. It's not real. In real life, we have issues, and if we set ourselves up for expectations, we got problems. If we lower our expectations to reality, things. I mean, it's still not going to be great. But at least we're not setting ourselves up for major failures and
disappointment, right?
Exactly.
And you
Exactly.
could, and then in fact, it wouldn't have as bad an impact on you if you do that.
Right. Exactly.
Idea number 2, establish structured activities. Children of all ages need structure. Time off from school with nothing to do increases the chances your teen's troubles will increase due to having too much free time on their hand.
And there's so much of that right now. I was talking to a kid, and I do this all the time, even with adults. I said, what are you going to miss? This kid was leaving my ranch. He's 16. So what are you going to miss most about this rehab? And he says the structure.
We hear that in the behavioral health unit. Isn't that interesting? That they really enjoy the structure and it's a safe environment.
But structure is safety.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, structure is safety. So what your kids are fighting you the most for is really what they need the most and what they're craving the most. Nobody wants to be on the streets. I mean, it's fun when they're doing it, but at the end of the day, these kids are pretty scared.
And you've had people who are in your rehabs, Cary, that have told you that, how much, where they may have even kind of fought against it.
All the time.
But when they leave it, they say how much they appreciated
I
it.
just got a text message from somebody that was discharged from my rehab. Now wants to go back. He says, can I come back? I'll put it on my credit card. I feel terrible. Because he feels safe there. And he does not feel safe. And this guy's in his 40s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as we're here, I got that. So, yeah, it's yeah.
Number 3, focus on the positive. It's easy to be negative and focus only on a troubled teen's problems and shortcomings when you're spending more time with your teen than usual and you want holiday celebrations to go well. Offer praise when you can. Set a positive tone.
A couple of things. We focus so much on the negative that we forget to even look at the positive. If your kid's getting straight fails and he comes home with fails and a B and a D minus, stroke him, compliment him for the D minus versus go after him for everything else. Say, wow, you got a D minus. Means you've done something good. I appreciate that. If you focus on positive, you'll build self-esteem and kids will try harder. If you just beat them up and say, you're stupid, you're dumb, look how bad this is, it's going to remain the same.
Sure.
So focus always on the good. And I know it's hard. But if at the end of the day, you go home and you just sit down, you close your eyes and you just think of 1 or 2 positive things you can say to your kid. I used to do love notes. I used to get those markers that wipe off, and I would go to my daughter's mirror and I would write little love notes. And, she never really gave me any issues, so it was easy. But for even kids that are giving you problems, there's always something that you can focus on. They did something, even if, whatever it is. And if you can't find anything, just go in and just write, I love you. Have a wonderful day.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. And go down to their levels. Text them. Say, I was just thinking about you. I love you. Those kind of things work magic. It's so much harder to fight and for kids to do things that are crazy when people are being nice.
Yeah.
So, niceness can move mountains.
Idea number 4. Ask your teen for input. Don't assume you know how your teen wants to spend the holidays. Keep in mind that teens are more likely to embrace and enjoy plans they come up with.
Nice.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Nice. But you know what we don't do enough of?
What's that?
Listen to our children.
Hey, I've heard this before.
Yeah, in fact, boy, this is just terrible, and I want people to hear this and really think this through for a moment. The average parent spends between 2 and 10 minutes with their teenager a day. This is a statistic, national statistic. I'm not saying everyone out there, but the average parent. So they wake up in the morning, they go to school, they're with their buddies 6-8 hours. They come home most of the time. People say to an empty house because mom and dad are working. That's not a true statement. They're with their friends, if not in person, on their devices, their social media, or whatever it is. They're always with them. So we come home from work. How was your day? It was good. How was school? It was okay. Do you have any homework? I done it. Are you hungry? I ate. And they go right back to their room with their friends. Mm-hmm. So we have a 2-minute conversation in the morning, maybe another 2-minute conversation, right? And what is the last thing a teenager does before they go to sleep? The very, very last. They check their phones or their computers. They check their social media to see what's going on, say goodnight to their buddies, go to sleep. What is the first thing they do when they wake up in the morning before they even use the bathroom? Check their social media. So I guess what I'm saying is, parents, social media is great. Cell phones are wonderful. Computers are great. But we need families to spend time with their kids. We need parents to spend time with their kids.
And then think about it. They're home for the holidays, and that conversation doesn't necessarily work about homework, et cetera, et cetera. So do you suppose there are parents out there that just don't really know what to say to their child, their teen?
We have a lot of parents that come to our group, and they've been disconnected for so long, they have no clue.
Yeah.
How do I spend time with my kid? We're super uncomfortable when we're around each other. We'll do something that you don't have to talk.
Exactly.
Go to a movie. If you really want, go to a roller coaster, ride a roller coaster, go somewhere where it's loud. So that you don't have to talk, or make it real short and sweet. Say, I really want an ice cream. Let's go get one.
Yeah.
Do little things like that.
Anything like that.
Yeah,
sure.
just try to connect.
I remember my son once told me, he said, Dad, I don't feel like I've done anything with you for a while. And he said, I don't care what we do. Let's just do something.
Yeah.
So we did.
Exactly.
He just wanted to spend time with me and talk a little bit. So we had a great time.
And I was just thinking back when my kids, obviously I got 3 and they're grown up now. Well, for whatever, they're always going to be our kids, right?
Right.
But when they got themselves in trouble when they were little and we grounded them, they were the happiest after about a few hours, because they hung out with us and they got what they weren't getting.
Sure.
So that's kind of one of those kind of food for thoughts.
Idea number 5, keep up with your teen's therapy. If your troubled teen is participating in therapy, it's important they continue to do so during the holiday, because they're probably going to have some issues. There's a lot going on that's not normal.
Holidays for a lot of people are extremely stressful, number one, especially kids or anyone. They can be extremely depressing and extremely exciting. So there's a lot of different things and feelings going on when it comes to holidays. There's a lot of families that there's somebody missing. There's somebody not in the house, maybe due to a death, a divorce. They're in the military. Something happened. They're in college, that people are really feeling some pain.
Yeah. And there's a lot of it. I remember a friend of mine during the Vietnam era who said he was over in Vietnam and it was Christmas time. And he said Armed Forces radio and television would be blaring over the speakers in their compound, and they played I'll Be Home for Christmas. And he said, I looked around and there wasn't a guy out there that wasn't crying.
Oh, yeah. It's very hard. And then, we might, let's say our kids in college. One of my kids are in France in college right now, Scott. We're going to miss him, but, he's out there too. You think he might be missing home? There's a lot of different feelings going on out there right now. There's people homesick. So that's kind of one of those reach out and touch somebody kind of deal,
You don't stop and think about that. Even if people are not very far away, but you can't have the holidays with them, it makes it very, very tough.
You know what I like? Presents are fun, but I'd rather get a little letter from somebody saying, hey, thanks for being a buddy, you're a good, that kind of thing. Those things make me feel better.
Sure.
They make you feel good.
That's
make
cool.
you feel appreciated, because people don't, we sometimes, people expect, oh, wow, Mike, you're a great guy. But if they don't tell you that, you still go home and you're like, okay. And by the way, you are a great guy, and I've been working with you for 13 years.
Yeah, going on 14.
And just so you know, I appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much.
Definitely thankful and happy to call you my friend.
Well, same here, Cary.
I mean that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So very, very cool. On that note,
it's time to take a break. We'll be coming back with more Families in Action right here on KHTS AM 1220, your hometown station, in just one moment. Welcome back to Families in Action right here on KHTS AM 1220, your hometown station. I'm your host, Michael Doherty, along with your host, Cary Quashen, and today we are talking about Hollywood. We're not talking about Hollywood. We're talking about holiday expectations for teens.
We're in Santa Clarita.
Yeah, I know. It is Hollywood. Cary, number 6, this is the last one. We're looking at that holiday expectations with your troubled teens. Listen to this. Use this time to elevate your teens. No, I'm sorry. I'm not saying that right. Use this time to evaluate your teens' troubles. I was sitting there saying elevate your teens' troubles. That doesn't work. Evaluate them. Spending increased time with your troubled teen during the holidays provides information and possibly a different perspective on how your teen is really doing. That would be a good thing for parents.
It would be a great thing to do, and listen to your children. Watch them, connect with them. Right now, like we said earlier, this could be a really great time, and it can be an extremely difficult time. So keep an eye on your children, not just your children, your mates. You know what I mean? Your family, your friends. Be there for each other. Serious.
Absolutely.
And I was also thinking, there's a lot of people that are not living with us, maybe elderly people that aren't living with us. Reach out. Make sure that people that you love and that love you feel part of something. Make it special for people.
Absolutely. And here's kind of a closing thought. You've already touched on this, Cary, but teaching your kids realistic holiday expectations. Kids have big expectations when it comes to holiday gifts. Mm-hmm. And the economy and the impact on millions of Americans out of work and all that, not all wishes can be granted. Parents have a lot of influence on helping their children not to be excessive consumers. I'll get my tongue back in a moment. And that's starting from a very young age. So setting reasonable expectations is very important. And we've been talking about that. Hey, I got to tell you, when I was growing up, and I was born in California, but I was raised in Alaska. And I knew as a child that I lived in the same state that Santa lived in. Because North Pole, Alaska is a real place. They get thousands and thousands and thousands of letters from kids every year.
Have you met Santa?
I certainly did, many times.
Very cool.
But not up at North Pole.
I'm a little jealous now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But check this out. So as a kid, I thought, okay, I get first dibs on Santa. So I knew when I filled out my list and my mom and dad put it in the mail, I was going to be among the first people he'd see. Oh, Mike, yeah. Wouldn't be like way late in the season when he got, oh, here's another one, right? Mm-hmm. But I was never a thingy guy, and I don't get the impression you are either.
No, but talk to especially kids, or not just your kids, anyone. I mean, if people are expecting things from you and you can't do it, let them know up front. Let them know, hey, you know what? Times are a little difficult. Maybe we can celebrate Christmas in a few months or look at other stuff. But right now, it's hard for me. And a love note, a nice card, just to make something. I think it's special when somebody kind of puts some time and energy. It makes like a picture and puts little keepsakes in it. I mean, to me, that means a lot.
Mary's
things are things.
Mary, my wife, is into doing that now. She's doing a lot of crafty kind of things. And I got to tell you, that stuff is so cool. My mother made a pillowcase and some other things for my brother's son when he was small. Right. And years and years and years later, she was visiting, and she sees he's still got this pillowcase, and he's still using it. It's beginning to get a little ratty. And she said, why don't you get a new pillowcase? And he said, Grandma, you made that. There's no way I'm going to get rid of it.
Things like that are important and mean a lot to people, because anybody can go to the store and buy something, but it takes time, energy, thought, feelings to make something like that.
And Christmas and the holiday season is not all about gifts. That's not what it's about. It's about getting together and sharing time as a family and enjoying and being thankful. And somebody sits down and
some giving. I mean, if you can, by all means do it, but don't outdo yourself.
Yeah, that's not necessary. I mean, when I was a little boy, you probably got a train set. I got a train set.
I got
right?
one. I remember that.
It was cool. I had a great lot of fun. Wore out my slot car racers.
Right. Yeah, we
wore them out.
We had slot cars in those days.
Had a great time.
I think they just opened one up here.
I know. You and I were talking about going to run the slot cars.
You and I are going to have to go do that.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready to go. Those are a lot of fun.
They were.
Wow. You can be a genuine go faster without even going outdoors.
I bet you I'll beat you.
Oh, don't. I knew you were going to do this, Cary. I'm not taking this bait, okay? Do you know that if we
I'm just looking for a reason to play.
If we made a big deal out of that, if we went out there and you did beat me, I'd never hear the end of it. And if I beat you, you'd get so mad at me if I brought it up.
You'd be working graveyard. No, just kidding.
Thank you. Oh, you know what? We've given some people some great stuff to think about, Cary.
I know.
I mean...
Well, giving us some things to think about.
Well, of course. Absolutely. Every time we talk to them, we're talking to us as well.
That's right. And I'll tell you, sometimes just talking and hearing ourselves talk, we learn stuff. I know I do.
Oh, absolutely.
My expectations come down a notch. And
I just have to say something. Last week, we had a great group of people here. We had 6 guests. One of them was a counselor, JC.
Right.
And she spoke, and we had the teens speaking. They were well-spoken.
Yes.
They told some amazing stories, and they all look like they are really on the right path. It was very uplifting, don't you think?
I do, and I think we're gonna do more of that. We'll bring more people that have really been through some situations and that are in the midst of getting out of the situations. I think it gives really good experience, strength, and hope to people. There's always an out. No matter what's going on in your life, there's an out. If the doctor comes and say you got 3 days to live, well, then that's 3 days, and make the best of your 3 days. But if it's an issue or a problem or a situation, there's usually always an out.
Yeah.
So we got to pay attention to that. And what I want everyone to do, we only got a couple minutes, but what I want everyone to do is a couple of things. Number one, when you wake up in the morning and you roll out of your bed, remember there's a lot of people that don't have a bed. Put your feet on the ground, close your eyes, take a few breaths, and spend a couple of minutes thinking about what you have. Not what you want.
That's right.
Because we're all so into different, better, and more. I want different, better, and more. How about I'm grateful for what I got today? I got a bed to sleep in. I got covers that are warm. I got a TV up there. I got a car that I'm going to get into and a job that I'm going to, and people who really love me. How about instead of different, better, or more, we just be grateful for who we are and what we have?
That's right. That's very, very good. And not only just, at Thanksgiving time, that's what we should do all year long.
Well, I think everybody should do that every morning.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, roll out of your bed, put your feet up on the ground, take 3 or 4 breaths, and just think about the real stuff you have.
And because we sit there and we watch television, and especially this time of the year, what's it telling us? Every time they take a commercial break, they're saying, you got to have this, you got to have that, hey, look at this new thing, look at that new thing. Instead of being a round one, it's a square one this year. You got to have it, right? So forget all that. That's crazy.
We have less than a minute. So I was doing a group at the Salvation Army Teen Runaway Shelter in Hollywood a few years ago before it burned down. And we used to give hot chocolate and donuts to the kids after the group. So we usually have 30, 40 kids during Christmas time that are street kids from 11 years up. And at the end of one of the groups, couple of them were fighting. Yelling and screaming. This guy was yelling at his girlfriend. She must have been 16. And I said, what's the deal here? She said, you don't get it. She left our blanket out and somebody stole it. We're going to freeze tonight. Fortunately, we have a blanket. So what I'm saying is not everybody has what we have. Be grateful for what you got.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Think about that. You're out there listening. Think about that.
Yeah. So on that note, we love you. We appreciate you listening. We want you to have a safe and great holiday. Until next week, this is Families in Action on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Have a great week.